Good day, folks. This episode is going to feature, welcome to Inspirado Projecto. By the way, I am CEC, otherwise known as Kurt Eric Clendenin. You can check out my art on cecartist.com. Got a lot of fun art up there. Also, if you like various products, skateboards, shoes, unique stuff, my art is on those things. Journals, shower curtains, which is at wisefingerlab.threadless.com. Now, this episode is going to be all about a lot of UFO talk. So, if you're into fringe theories, I suggest, I'd love for you to just hang on here. There's something going on called the Harmonic Convergence, which you'll hear about later. And, in fact, it's happening today, starting at 11:11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/unify, UNIFY, unify. And there'll be a live Facebook stream on there. So we'd love for you to join us in the meditation. Without further ado, and certainly without further ado-don'ts, the newest episode of Inspirado Projecto. Today is July 6th, I believe. Yeah, July 6th. Time is now 2:23 p.m. And going on my way up to the store right now. And today is the second day of what is called the Harmonic Convergence. The Harmonic Convergence is an event between July 5th and the 14th. So, on the 14th, there's going to be a meditation taught to us. It's called the CE5. It was invented by a man named Greer. And gosh, I wish I could remember the name of the man who's putting together the Harmonic Convergence. But the whole idea came to him in a dream. And this is a worldwide event. It's free. It's live on Facebook. And so all throughout the day, there are these really awesome speakers talking about spirituality, talking about exploring your shadow side, and just a bunch of various good vibes. It's trying to show us the importance of high vibrations. And so what's so cool is that each morning at 11:11 a.m., it starts at 11:11 a.m. basically with a meditation, a group meditation through everybody who's watching. So everybody has a group meditation. So great. And then, throughout the day, they play these videos. It's really cool. Sometimes the little cartoons. Just a festival of just wonderful minds. And so throughout the time they're interviewing this guy, gosh, wish I could remember his name, but he had extraterrestrial contact a number of years ago after doing the CE5 meditations with Greer. And I think there were 20 of them or something. I think he was saying that there's a bunch of them that came together for this, and they ended up doing this group meditation and then finding a UFO in the sky. It came to them. And so the day after that, the guy did that meditation by himself, and he ended up meeting this creature, this extraterrestrial named Tejbar, TEZJBAR. And if you go on to Instagram, you can find some of that information. His actual name. I'm just not looking at it right now. I'm on my way up to the store to pick up some stuff. I got to say, I'm so excited. More and more people are getting Wisefinger items. Wisefinger Lab. Wisefinger is the name of the clothing print-on-demand service that I'm using. Threadless. wisefingerlab.threadless.com. It's on Threadless. A bunch of artists have their stuff up there. You can get skateboards, ski masks, not ski masks, masks, stickers, journals. It's just, I get such a kick out of seeing my art on these things. And so it's a lot of fun to see more and more of these people getting these items. And I know about at least 4 or 5 more people who have stuff coming on the way to them. And if you happen to get anything from Wisefinger, please find us on Instagram. We're at Wisefinger Lab. Find us on there. If you get anything, send it to us. Take a picture. Heck, do an unboxing. We've been doing some great unboxings up there. Oh, I've been hearing the word, by the way, cognitive dissonance. I've been hearing that just all over the place. And I've been hearing it all over the place. Everyone's using this word. I don't know where they're getting it from. I don't know, what the deal is, but everyone's using it suddenly. People who would never use that kind of vocabulary. It's really funny. Another word we're going to hear about a lot is plume. Mark my words, we're going to hear a lot about the word plume coming up soon. All right, I'm at the store right now. I should probably start looking for my stuff. I'll talk to you later. Good day, you guys. Holy moly. It is now the 9th of July. Let's see. The Harmonic Convergence started on the 5th. So today's the 5th day of the Harmonic Convergence. Happening today and every day until the 14th. Starts off with a morning meditation, 11 a.m. Facebook Live. Harmonic Convergence by Unify. I've just learned that there are a couple of harmonic convergences out there. As people told me they're trying to search for it. Look for the one that is hosted by Unify. In fact, I guess just search for... Yeah, look up search in the search bar. Unify Harmonic Convergence. It'll take you right there. I'll be there. There are about 1,000 people in there at any time. So here's another word I just discovered that I've been hearing everywhere. All of a sudden, everyone's using this word robust. And in fact, I probably used it the other day for the podcast because I liked the sound of that word, that vocabulary word. Last time I heard it, it actually was the last podcast that you guys just heard, where we were playing the acoustic show in Baba Booey's backyard. We were doing an acoustic show, and DJ Yacht Rock Julian Douglas would interview us in between every 3 or 4 songs. He'd come over and ask us some questions. Philly used the word robust. And I'm like, ooh, that's good, So then I started using it because I just love vocabulary. And then I started hearing it and seeing it on Twitter. I started hearing more people just saying it out there. So then I just did a little test. I thought, you know what? There's got to be an explanation for this word that's suddenly just spreading all over. So I typed in robust and the word news. And sure enough, if you look on Google, there are a bunch. It comes up with a lot of pages for news stories where they're using this word robust. I remember another time this happened. Well, aside from all the times I'm just going to be calling out to you on here. I've always been fascinated with fads, trends. Where do they start? How do they spread? Well, now it's a lot more obvious to me with social media. Especially people are glued to the news. A lot of folks are glued to the news. I remember hearing, I was in New York. I think I was with my buddy Dave Uchansky, fellow actor friend of mine. We went out to New York. We stayed near, I don't know. I know they got streets and avenues. I can't remember if we stayed near 10th Street or 10th Avenue. On 10th Street or 10th Avenue in Hell's Kitchen. What they call Hell's Kitchen. And during that time, I remember my buddy, he had the news on the whole time, day, night. We fell asleep to the news. All it was politics. And it was during the time of, there was the race for, was it for Obama, maybe? No, it was before that. I think it was before that. Was it before that? No, the first... Yeah, I think it was... Yeah, there's a presidential race going on. And, God, there was a politician who got busted cheating on his wife or something. Anyway, I know. It could be any of them. Gosh... Anyway, the phrase they kept saying was, he's got a clean bill of health. He's got a clean bill of health. He's got a clean bill of health. I kept hearing that phrase over and over, repeated throughout the day on that news channel. And I would joke with my buddy Dave Uchansky about it. I'm like, listen, do you notice they're saying clean bill of health? What's interesting is if you find yourself stepping back from let's say, a skill, a particular culture, a particular environment that you're used to really just being immersed in. You're when you're in the middle, when you're in the midst of it. There's a difference between flying around, being within the tornado, flying around in the tornado, and then being at the eye of the tornado, right there in the eye of it and looking around at everything around you. So I like to kind of stand in the eye where it's the most calm, glance at what's going at me and go, holy moly. So when you're immersed in something and you step back and you spend some time away from it, you can actually see the thing from different perspectives now. Einstein said you cannot solve a problem from within the problem. You can't do that. So probably the best time to make a point to someone or to really honestly or earnestly talk to someone about something is not when they're in the midst of being all worked up or crazy or, strongly immersed in all the whirlwind and all the craziness. Because, and we're not going to see it either. That's why it's good to have good, honest people in our lives who point out those things and they go, remember when you said you wanted to be the best version of yourself? Remember when you claimed these ideals? I'm noticing that you're getting out of alignment of those things. So just to let you know, you're kind of getting out of alignment. It's like the growing up in Chicago, driving on the Eisenhower, as they say. I-90, 290. So if you, and they got these all over the place, the freeways, highways. The side of the side of the street will go to let you know, you're about to go off the road. You might go off the road. And this helps out a lot for folks who accidentally start, kind of falling asleep at the wheel. Which is, honestly, back in the day, I caught a lot of Z's while driving at the wheel. A lot of stoplights. Wow. I'm very fortunate that I survived to tell the tale. And that is because of thanks to the those things on the side of the road that woke me up. Let me know, okay, I believe you. Jump in the line. Okay, I believe you. Jump in the line. Jump in the line. Okay, I believe you. Jump in the line. And that's what it was like, man. Rock your body in time. Get in time. Get in time with it. Get into the groove of it. Get in alignment. So, jump in the line. Jump in the alignment. So, that's kind of what it is. So my buddy, who was just so immersed in the news experience, he didn't mention anything of it until I pointed it out, because I don't watch the news. The stuff I catch is off of Twitter, and I'm basically in search of the things that are going to serve me in that moment in time, and what is going to be calling out to my heart. We can't cover all the bases. There's no way to cover all the bases, is there? I think I probably talked about this before. How long am I required to, let's say, for instance, the folks who wake up first thing in the morning, bam, they turn on the news. Before they fall asleep, bam. So it's this brainwashing that's just constantly in their brain, and of course they're not going to be able to see what's going on or what's not going on, not to mention whatever kind of secret, subliminal messages are flipped in there, millimoment by millimoment. We got TV programs now that are shot in 6K, 10K. Things that are shot even higher than 30 frames per second. 60 frames, but imagine 60 frames per second. That means you have 60 increments of all that, and then that's 1 second. Anywhere within those files, imagine it's like a filing cabinet. Anywhere within there, someone could just go slip a little message in there, and no one would be any the wiser. No one would be any the wiser. So that's why it's important to really check in with ourselves. And me saying this out loud, it's me talking to myself. I'm telling myself, dude, stay in alignment with what serves you. TikTok is an incredible resource for lots of extraordinary education on there. I suggest you go on there and check out some of the wonderful, wonderful advice. A lot of great financial advice coming from these people. I've got so many ideas swimming in my head. Lots of great financial advice. Spiritual advice, psychological advice. And now, what I'm going to do is start broadcasting live on there. I did it on Instagram a couple of times. I think TikTok, what the heck? I'm going to do TikTok. I'm going to be doing TikTok, doing some live drawing on there. I think I'm going to have a little art school, so to speak. How to draw. Simple stuff. A lot of people, we grew up, a lot of folks I've talked to through the years, like, oh, I couldn't even draw a stick figure. Oh, I can't draw. Well, do you want to draw? If you don't want to draw, just say that. Oh, no, I do want to draw, but I can't draw. Do you want to draw? Would you like me to teach you how to draw? Oh, no, I could never. Well, I could do it easily. That's how I taught my buddy to draw. I remember in elementary school, I taught my friend how to draw, and now he's a tattoo artist. He and I were, I introduced him to Salvador Dali, the painter. It was great. I taught him how to draw in the way that I drew a whole bunch of different eyes on a page, different sizes, different shapes. Some with pupils, some without. Some with creases, some with wrinkles. Some of that were triangular, some that were rectangular. I mean, it really didn't matter. I said, okay, these are eyes. Okay, now we're going to draw a bunch of noses. Those are noses. Here are mouths. Here are some ears. There are some shapes of heads. Now, just mix and match. It's a Frankenstein monster. Mix and match. Oh, I think I'll have these eyes from here. Ooh, that's a neat looking nose. I like how those nostrils. Those are some good nostrils. Let's get those there. Holy cow! Kurt drew some mustaches here. What the heck? Let's get the curly one. That'll be good. He's got those really neat nostrils. Let's get that curly mustache. That's cool. Ooh, how about that mouth with the big teeth? I like that. The smiley mouth with the big teeth. We like that. Okay, let's get that on there. So, look at that. Oh, that's interesting. He drew a hexagon, but he said that's the shape of a head. Well, what the heck? Why not? Let's use that. That's the shape of the head. So, look at those ears. Wow, they're pointy. Yeah, let's do that. Speaking of pointy ears, I call him Covey, the quarantine vampire. He's named Covey. My buddy Vince named him Covey. He's now in the Wise Finger shop. For any of you who like unique art, skaters, if you guys are skaters, if you're riders, there are journals, stickers, duvets. You can get an entire bed covering, shower curtains, all kinds of cool stuff. Do me a favor, visit wisefingerlab.threadless.com, and ye shall find some really, really interesting stuff. My friend Samantha designed these, spent many hours learning these templates and pixel ratios and all that jazz, and putting them into the shop. And it's cool to have him in there. Quarantine vampire. And a lot of the folks who are watching me draw it on the live stream on YouTube, they're buying these things. It's so freaking cool. It is so exciting. So, yeah. Check it out if you want. And keep your ears open for the word robust. I promise you. You'll start hearing it a lot more now. Now, number of years back, I remember when I heard the phrase, it is what it is, I started hearing it everywhere. It is what it is. Everyone started saying it. Well, through the years, through my theories about fads, how they travel, how trends move along, I started realizing, this is because of whatever is most, what is screaming the loudest? What's the loudest? And so that's what people are going to most, look towards. So there you have it. If you suddenly start hearing a word that's zip zapping around. Oh, here's another way. So through news and also TV shows, obviously. New movies, TV shows, especially now through it's baffling to me. I remember growing up and coming up with jokes right there. Just imagining a joke, saying it out loud, and then years later, hearing my own joke that I invented, echoing back to me through a completely different source, in a completely different area. It's, you've probably noticed that too, haven't you? If you've noticed that kind of thing, email me. InspiradoProjecto@gmail.com. I'd love to hear it. You can also send me a message on the hotline, 561-203-9179. I'll put it on here. All right? I hope you have a plume. I hope you have a plume of a clean bill of health, and it's very robust. Because after all, it is what it is. So, okay, I've been doing the Harmonic Convergence each day starting July 5th. It's still going on. It's going on until the 14th. And each morning we meet at 11 o'clock in the morning online. It's on the Unify page. Look for the Unify page. Harmonic Convergence. There's a meditation we do each night, each morning and each night. And the idea is to bring about worldwide UFO sightings on the 14th. So if you are a contactee, if you've been abducted, if you've seen UFOs, if you have stories that you have felt like people told you were crazy, or you yourself thought you were crazy, or that you dreamed it, or whatnot, and you just never felt secure enough to share it with anyone, come on in. We got Zoom after parties each night, and these people are sharing these stories that they don't normally share, with people. So as a result of me posting this on my Instagram page and Facebook page, here's a woman. She goes by, her Instagram name is Gone By. Gone, BYE 2628. And she's gonna get her grandma to tell the story, but here it is from her words. She recorded it into my Instagram audio. So here we go.
Hey, hello. So this is a very interesting story because my mom was like 8 years old and my grandma was like 30 something, like my age today. And well, back in the 60s, Costa Rica was mainly farms, and there was like no streets or stores or anything. It was mainly just farms. And my mom and grandma were coming back from somewhere. They were like about less than a kilometer away from their home. And suddenly they say that they saw this big plate like about 50 meters away from them floating, and that they were able to see inside the ship, and that they could see people waving at them. And my mom was waving back, and my grandma says that she was cold of seeing what she was seeing, and she got super scared, and they started running and running and running and running and running. And my mom says that when she turned back to see if the spaceship was still there, it was all gone. My mom says that they're like Nordic people, like with like silver kind of I don't know, like jumpsuits, and they were like very pale, and they could see inside the inside the sheep. But I think at the same time that it could be, I don't know if you remember, but after World War II, the Russians did like some spaceship looking ships. I don't know. So I don't know if it could be that, or if it was actually some kind of experience of the third type. I have no clue.
There you go. You heard it from her. She says she's going to record her Nana tomorrow, and she's 86 now. So I can't wait to hear it.
Absolutely, go ahead. It's very interesting because I grew up listening to that story, and I always found it a little bit surreal, like very funny. But I don't know. I mean, it's very interesting that they both tell the same story, and my mom, it's like an UFO fan, and she loves to see. Actually, she have seen things. I don't know. She says that after that experience she had, she feels that she became like a target, and she sees things all the time. And my grandma, instead, she gets very scared, like very, very scared, because where they saw this thing, there was nothing. I mean, it was plain dark. And back in the 60s in Costa Rica, as I'm saying, there was very little electricity, you know, like electric lights in the street. So it was very, very visible. And they said that this spaceship was on top of a roof of a house. And it was, I mean, the people inside of that thing was like very silver, and I don't know what I can. I'm sure my mom is awake, is that I'm gonna ask her to send me a message on WhatsApp, and I'm gonna send it to you. If you like, we can do that. But it's a very, very interesting story, because yeah, she tells it with very specific detail. I'm gonna ask her now. It might be in Spanish, but I can translate it for you if you like.
Gosh, how cool is that, huh? How cool is that? So I told her to share any more stories that she knows of, and this was the message that I got through right now through Instagram. Here we go.
The only thing that I have experienced, like, very strange, was back in the 90s. We were driving back from Oregon to San Francisco. And we saw many, many lights in the sky. And it was me, my mom, her friend, and someone else. And again, my mom was the first seeing those lights that were like on top of our car, going on triangle shapes. I was like 10 years old, and I remember seeing the lights. It was like 3 of them, you know, on top of the car, like for about an hour. And then we got to the city and they disappeared, but it was like the only weird thing that I have experienced, and I was very little. And it was my mom seeing those things.
So how crazy is that? She said she's getting a hold of her mom now. She woke her mom up about it. Let's see. We got a couple of voice messages in here.
You know what? I feel like I can talk to you about this, but I think that all these people that we think they're from another planet, they're actually time travelers. I think it's people from the future that come and try to fix what it's affecting them in their time. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think that they're like evolved humans that come back to us to help us somehow, or try to figure out medical things that maybe are affecting them now. For example, this virus thing. We don't know what the consequences of the vaccines are going to be in 30 years' time, 40 years' time, right? And maybe, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud, but I always think of that.
That's a pretty cool theory. I mean, gosh, the Pentagon a couple months ago just finally admitted that the crafts, the spacecrafts that they were chasing, the fighter jets were chasing, the Pentagon finally admitted, even though the group Stars to the Academy had already gotten a hold of this footage, you know, years before, and put it out there in the world. Finally, a couple of months ago, the Pentagon, you know, actually said, yep, that declassified footage that you saw, the spacecrafts in there are not made by us. That's all they'd say. So, at this point, any theory is correct, right? Because we don't know what we don't know, and we're constantly surprised in ways that we would never expect. So, I am one to allow for the most fringiest of possibilities. Here we go. So I asked her name is Noelia. Noelia Vargas. Noelia Vargas. From Costa Rica. Here's her mom, Marjorie, in her own words, talking about the UFO experience. Here we go. She sent it to me through WhatsApp. Here we go. If you speak Spanish, this is for you.
Bueno, es que yo cuando tenía 8 años, ahora tengo 61. Cuando yo tenía 8 años, 8, 9 años, iba con mi mamá caminando por una calle que va a la Sabanilla de Montes de Oca, íbamos para La Bamba. Y cuando íbamos, ella me llevaba de la mano y de pronto mami se quedó parada así como de un solo tiro. Y ella me jaló y yo entonces me quedé así viendo y como era poquita la distancia, tal vez unos 5 metros, unos 5 o 6 metros, estaba una nave grandota suspendida ahí y en la ventana de la nave habían 2 seres de los cuales pude interactuar yo con ellos. Yo les comencé a mover, yo estaba pequeñita, ellos me comenzaron a saludar y yo comencé a saludarlos y mami me jalaba porque mami decía que ella sentía que le iban a quitar la chiquita. Entonces mami comenzó a caminar para atrás hasta que, y yo toda fascinada viéndolos, que hasta el día de hoy los tengo grabados en mi mente, 2 seres bellísimos, preciosos, mami me jaló y quedamos un rato viendo la nave, una nave bellísima, parecía como un sombrero, como si fuera un sombrero de estos del oeste. Y vieras que así fue una experiencia bastante bonita. Y después los volví a ver ya grande, los volví a ver otra vez. Varias veces me los he topado, los he visto, pero una vez los topé así también de cerca, igual, saliendo del apartamento donde vivía Noelia. Ahí estaban arriba viendo y alumbraron mi carro y ahí estuvieron, pero fue una experiencia bellísima. Después me di cuenta, ahora ya vieja buscando yo, que en esa época los avistamientos eran era fácil de ver, había muchos avistamientos en esa época.
Wow. There you go. There's Marjorie's UFO experience. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. It is so interesting that these things are coming about the way that they are. It's so intriguing. So intriguing. Boy. All right, I'm gonna jump back onto these into these shenanigans, but we would love it if you were to join us. We're doing these meditations. It's incredible. So yeah, I'll definitely be talking more later.
Well, it's there've been a number of them that the MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, is a very, very sound and reliable source of information about the number of sightings, etc. And there's also there's a metaphysical library up in Ashland, Oregon. Jordan Pace and Christy Stewart run that up there. And they've got almost every single interview that's ever been done with people who've recorded having contact, all the people that do presentations at the UFO gatherings, etc. So that place, the Metaphysical Library up in Ashland, Oregon, is a place to get the answers to almost all kinds of questions that you would have, as well as going to Jan and the people at the Mutual UFO Network.
Great. Thank you so much, Danny. You've been on our show before, and we hope you're going to come back again. This is some topics you know so much about. Thank you.
It's a privilege to be here. Thank you, guys.
That was Danny Sheehan.
I'm just headed to you. You can unmute yourself. Is that Tess Mara that's next to you?
Hello? Hi. I just happened to have a guest who just arrived at our studio here at the Ojai Retreat and where we're doing our broadcast. And this is Baba G, and he is an amazing being who I can't get into, but I'm just so blessed. I'm for a loss of words, truly.
I'm not going to say that the feeling is the same. I've never felt this good in my life. It's like being home.
Yeah, we're home. We really are. This is such a special time. And Danny, thank you for being on the program this evening and sharing all this wonderful information with us.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Mark, do you want to introduce the Arrival Countdown video?
Yes. So the Arrival Countdown is one of the 13 songs given to me by Tesvar back in July of 2017. You'll recognize the song. I'm not going to give away which song it is, but you'll recognize it. This was directed, the video was directed by my dear brother, Craig Campavasso, who was supposed to be on the program this evening, but he unfortunately had to go. Everything's fine. He just was slotted for an early section of tonight's program, and because of scheduling issues, we got a late start, and he had to go to another commitment. So, but he was going to be on the program, and he's the one who directed the movie Stranger at the Pentagon, the story about Valiant Thor that was given to the human family through the book Stranger at the Pentagon by Dr. Frank Stranges, one of the UFOologists in the 50s who was very interested in this topic. So anyway, with nothing further ado, I give you the Arrival Countdown.
Oh, I probably shouldn't. This is going to be copyrighted material. All right. Instead of the final countdown, I'm thinking it's the arrival countdown. I think that's why they named it. Anyway, more later. More on this later.
This is Blythe Baines, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
Some people call it God or the God field. Yes. And for us to realize who we really are, that's called self-realization, right? And that it's been around for thousands of years. Right? The people that are responsible mostly for bringing it to the West are Vivekananda and Paramahansa Yogananda. Since then, there's been, several. Muktananda. I met probably a half a dozen myself, and now I feel that I am one. I was drawn to them, and I learned from them, and I read the scriptures, and I did the prayers and the yoga, and I realized that we are the one. There's only one, and it's us.
Yeah, that's right.
Isn't it wonderful?
We are the ETs.
Yes, we are. Yes, we're extraterrestrial. We have spacesuits. That's
Yeah.
what I call the body. It's just something that we have to wear while we're breathing the oxygen. But I think that there's a time when we don't need the body and we can travel in space without it. And somehow those of us who who came here to help us out, incarnated in us, as us. It's hard for us to find words to describe it, but yeah, it's sort of like we're all God or something like that, you know?
We are.
Yeah. God is us. God is in us as us, and that's it. We just have to realize it. And we're here to help. If anyone wants to know more about it, that's why I'm here.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. Well, we're here together because we are one, and we want everyone else to join us and just be one with us.
Right.
And no more separation. No more politics or religion or race or financial status. It's all just going to go away. We're just going to be here and have fun.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
for all the people in our audience, there's about 300 people in the Zoom room and thousands watching. Am I the only one getting a contact high off these two guys?
sure.
Heather, I think. Heather, you getting one too? Is it not just me? I mean, you guys started with the vodka and all the bottles, right?
And Heather, I am such a fan of yours. I think you're incredible, and I have plans, if you're open to it, to take you on the road with the band that I'm forming called the Harmonic Convergence 2020 ET Band. This is true, and you'll be hearing more about it. And I think you have an important contribution to make as part of our tour. So I'll talk to you more about that in the coming weeks ahead. After this, Harmonic Convergence 2020 event is over. It's just the beginning of a multi-year endeavor that will help to raise the consciousness of all beings on this planet until we get everybody on board and we all become one in celebration of love and peace and joy, and through music and song and comedy and magic and dance for sure. And you perform magic with such grace and humor and cue this magic note that I use in my daily meditation is in so many of the important words in the English language, like human, humor, and there's a whole routine I can imagine you doing with the hue and with magic, because magic is so important. Mystery gives such awe to our world and to what we are. And so thank you for everything you do and the way that you do it with such beauty and grace and reverence for life. It's really amazing to watch you. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah, I feel the visceral sensation of all creation, when I'm doing this work. It's on just resonance for the work.
Thank you.
Well, for our next magic trick, we're going to actually try and finish this show before midnight, California time. And all the way from Bangkok, our speaker for the night, and he's been with us from the beginning. God bless him. He's been watching for 4 hours now. Mark, tell us a little bit about Willard.
Oh my gosh, what a brother this man is. So Willard was introduced to me through a mutual friend of ours who was on earlier, Celestine Starr, who Celestine, if you're still on, there's so many people in this Zoom room, I don't know if you're on, I'm sure you are somewhere. I love you, sister. You're amazing. What a blessing it was to meet you last February in Los Angeles at the Life Conscious Expo. And you ended up introducing me to this angel, this earth angel, in the form of Willard Vanden Bogart. And Willard, like me, was called by a higher divine or higher multi-dimensional, higher interdimensional being, of which merged with him. And he published a book just last month on the 18th of June called Alien Child, in which he tells the true story about him in 1952 as a young man of 12 years of age, was awakened in the middle of the night, told to walk outside. He heard voices, and the voices told him to look up into the stars, and they said, "We are from the stars." And at that moment, he fell asleep on the cliffs of Nahant, Massachusetts, a small island just north of Boston off the coast there of Massachusetts. And his father, looking for him frantically in the morning, came and found him on the very edge of a cliff of the Atlantic Ocean and woke him up. And he found out years later that he had indeed merged with a higher dimensional being that has been with him and informing him on various projects, including, I believe, and Willard, I'll let you talk a little bit to this, but he was instrumental in becoming a part of Jose Arguelles' original Harmonic Convergence. He became a dear friend of Jose's back in the 70s. They met in Washington, D.C. through Barbara Marks Lamb, who is another UFOologist. They were together at an event there, and through her met Jose Arguelles. And so, Willard, why don't you share with us from how you got involved in the Harmonic Convergence, became good friends with Jose, and then we were introduced together. And again, I just have to say there's so many parallels in our life. Since I was introduced to him about 8 days or 9 days ago, we've been in constant communication. So Willard, are you unmute yourself, Willard, so we can hear what you have to say. You're just such a brother. I love you, man.
Well, I'm so happy to be a part of this family, and I can say hello, star being. And I think this event, although quickly, has given me the confidence to actually say that it's a hard thing to say, but you have to live with it, that I'm an actually star being. And it's been a lifetime. The book, Alien Child, I'm 12 years old, you can do the math, I'm 80 years old now. So it took a while to come to that conclusion of how I became what I am today. In 1971, I went to Washington, D.C., and I met Barbara Marks Lamb. I gave a performance for her. And then a little later, in 1975, I met Jose. And as a result of something that I had written for Barbara. And Jose and I became friends. He used to teach at San Francisco State. He let me lecture in some of his classrooms, and told me about many of the books he was writing, Mind Factor. And he told me in a couple of years there's going to be something special for me. Better stick around. And then he wrote, then he came out with Dream Spell, but no one knew quite what that was. And I ended up being very close. I wish Jose could have played the flute for this evening. He loved to play the flute. But anyway, I ended up with about 10,000 of his Dream Spell kits, and no one knew quite what they were really. They were beautiful, and I'm a white crystal dog, and everyone knew they're glyphs from the Mayan civilization. And he brought forth the mathematics of the calendric system of the 13 moons, and everyone became enthralled with that. And I was on Mount Shasta in 1987, and I think millions of people around the world were on all sacred sites, and that was a big thing. But you see, what else is so important is Mark had this experience on November on 2012, and I was on the top of a mesa in Chaco Canyon, the star people of ancient Pueblos. I knew about them, and I wanted to be in a place that really I could see the stars and I could feel the I call it the cognitive armillary, the way the universe turns, the way of will coming up in July 14th. There's a big gravitational effect on that. But anyway, I was on top of that mesa, and believe it or not, the same people that talked to me when I was 12 years old, I just was standing there, and they said, "Welcome back, Willie." And, you have to stand 4 degrees above zero, and I listened to that story. And they told me, just like Teshpar had told Mark, they asked me to do a few things, basically tell everyone who they are, what they're up to. And over the years, I've been publishing a lot of works, and finally come out with this during COVID. I'll call it a COVID manuscript. Actually, being in lockdown for 4 months in Bangkok, I got this voice that finished your book, and I went about and finished it. And Mark and I met at the same time. The Harmonic Convergence 2020 was taking place. I mean, we actually coincidentally just merged together on our independent paths. So this evening has made me feel more confident, more alive, and more part of a family that, you know, I think we all need to know about. I think that's the service that this broadcast has given to me, and I hope it allows everyone else to be able to come out and say, I am a star being, and that's a big jump, but that's who I am, and I tried to say all the experiences that I went through in life to make that possible. And then, but I would like to say that coming up on this Harmonic Convergence 2020 is an amazing time, not only for millions of people that are going to be meditating, the intention of that, but what happens to ourselves could happen. We all could be meeting our star beings for the very first time. So if there's any contribution I could make as a lifelong story, trying to show you that here I am for the very first. It's true that the greater come out. It's hard. It brings a little choking up a little bit, but you say you're a star being, and that's a new evolution. And I think everything that I've heard tonight is this evolutionary admittance of our own beings and what that means. So my message is that all of us meditating, I love the Hue meditation. It's a great phoneme. I love phonemes. The Hue phoneme is great. H-U, Hue, Hue, Hue. And you also can sing Hues, by the way. I love singing Hues. Everyone should actually clear themselves with whatever meditation. I used to Vipassana, breathing exercise, by Dr. Piku in the forest month of Thailand. And if you can have no thought whatsoever, but you just have the breath that keeps you alive, the universal breath that keeps you alive. In that moment when there's nothing else in your mind that's come from the entrainment, from all the information that's come our way, that's when whole new energy filters through, and you have your whole being to interpret it. You catch it, and you become a new person. And in fact, if you accept it, all of us would become a new person in an instant. And then that would be, I don't want to say an army, but a tribe, a tribal organization of conscious beings that whatever their talent might be, whatever their interests are, they would apply that to whatever it is. Like cleaning the plastic in the ocean, feeding the animals, helping the children in Nepal, whatever it needs to be done to change the situation that we're in. That's the biggest message. And the other one is saying, nice to meet you, Mark. Star being to star being. I mean, that's a big jump. And the music tonight really took me over the edge. I mean, it's just great sounds. So harmonic resonance, being open to messages from other people in the galaxy is a real thing. And I'm really just a pleasure to be here. It's an affirmation beyond belief.
Thank you so much for coming all the way from Bangkok and all that we kind of went through to get the technology going. And what a beautiful way for you to kind of close out as speakers. And Mark, you and I talked about, we're going to wrap up with the Imagine video. Do you want to say about that?
But this is just a powerful video, and it is, to me, the most sacred of the 13 songs which Tejbar gave to me. And this was reproduced by a dear friend of mine, Jamie Deva, with the vocal artist Cy Hernan.
So apparently every Saturday night they have something called Saturday Night Alive. I didn't know this. It's called Love Coach Academy. If you go there on Facebook, Love Coach Academy. So what you're about to hear here, there's a guy, his name is Willard, Willard, W-I-L-A-R-D, Bogart, and you're about to hear him talk about his book called Alien Child, where he was contacted at a very young age. But I'll let them talk about this for you. But check this out. It's about 14 minutes. It's really interesting, and yeah, if you like UFOs and if you've had any experiences, you might relate to some of this stuff.
Somehow I ended up on this YouTube channel or something. I don't know what it was. Golden Dawn, Harmonic, whatever. I don't know. Some of that esoteric stuff, right? And I don't even know how I got on there. I just found myself there, and I scrolled down and I saw you, and it was a video. It was live streaming, and I listened and I said, you know, I had the same experience. This guy's done the same thing that I've done. Got too high and couldn't really communicate with anyone. And people for years and years and years have told me I'm tripping. And I just have to go with that, you know. But if everybody was tripping, maybe we'd be better off, right? Because the trip I'm on is like where we can all love each other, we can all be happy, and we can do everything we can to make it better for everybody. The planet can be healed. We can probably have fun. And that's all I want to do is just enjoy my time on planet Earth and make it possible for everyone else to have the same time that I'm having. You know, why should I keep it to myself? So here we are, having the time of our life. Thank you.
So, Babaji, you were sharing with me just a few moments ago about the awakening, the type of awakening you had in which you were being communicated with, and you were being given messages that you were having a hard time integrating. Can you share that experience?
Well, in the beginning, it was sort of like something outside of myself. Like I was being approached by some entities. I was working for the government at the time, and I thought it had something to do with the CIA or the KGB. You know, they were like, I thought maybe it was some sort of a technology that they were using to communicate to me. And I was pretty afraid of it. And after a while, they started telling me that they wanted to use me. They wanted to direct the course of my life. I thought, no, I don't think so. You know, this is my life, and I'll do it my way. And they told me, well, you know, you're not doing a very good job. You're being a real bad representative or an example. If everyone were to follow you, right? I mean, I'd have to take my car out every night and use a whole tank of gas just to, you know, to maintain my status. I was in Detroit, Michigan, driving a brand new Corvette, and, you know, I had an image to maintain. And I remember smoking cigarettes and dumping the ashtrays out on the street and, you know, not thinking about recycling. And, you know, I mean, I was terrible. And they just called me and all that stuff. They said, why don't you just straighten up your life? You know, why do you have to live this way? And I listened for about 6 months, and I finally decided they were right. And I surrendered. I gave it up. I said, okay, you can have it. And I've given them my life. I've given them my body. I don't really have a will of my own. You know, this thing about free will, not for me. I gave it up. I don't want any part of it. I just want to do the greater good. And it's the greater self. It's nothing outside of ourselves. It's me, but it's a higher me. It's not the other me. It's the real me. And if everybody could just quit being whatever it is they are and just be what it is I am, that's it. It's the I am present in all things. That's all it is. And it took me, what? I started in 1967, and I'm finally getting a language that I can use to maybe present it properly to other people so that they won't be afraid. All you have to do is it's like you're in a car, there's 2 steering wheels, and you got one and the other people have the other, and they're more qualified. You know, they've got their certificates, and you're just playing around. You might as well just let go of the wheel and let them have their way. And that's what I'm saying. Come on down. You know, all of you, come on in. We're inviting you into our hearts. And we want all of us to be one, and you're the only one that can do it for us because we're just in the way. Does that make sense?
It does.
Beautiful.
That's
beautiful.
Thank you so much. This is a true brother. He felt called. He knew somehow where we were broadcasting from. He'd been pretty quiet, actually, about where we are. Where were you when you first discovered where we were? Where we were?
Well, you gave it away. You were sitting here in front of the mountains. I see these mountains. I was here in Ojai in 1975. I started a Hare Krishna temple in the Upper Valley.
Oh.
And so I was kind of bringing spirituality into, well, it wasn't me, Theosophical Society. I did a one-on-one with J. Krishnamurti one time. We got a 20-minute video, he and I talking together under the oak trees here in Miners Oaks. So this is home to me. And when you said, well, I'm sitting here in Ojai waiting for a spaceship, I said, oh, wow, I got to get on with it. And then you said, what, 2020? Harmonic Convergence, I said, well, I did the other two. I did Sedona, and I did Joshua Tree. I can't miss this one. And I just had to come. And here I am.
So this is beautiful. Mark, in a moment, there are some questions that I've been collecting from you. But before I do that, a couple things. So give me a minute to pull that together. And I want to introduce Dana, who in about, probably aimed at about 15 minutes, I imagine. Dana, if you turn on the camera, I'll know that you're ready. And she's going to share with us a little bit.
This is Stu Strauss, the Woodsman, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto.